Hi everyone, this is Dawn and welcome back to my channel. So I am coming on to share my projects this week for Sybil B's hashtag Autumn in August. She hosted a wonderful collaboration in July with Christmas crafting, and here we are with the hashtag Autumn in August. I will leave Sybil B's channel linked in the description box below with the information regarding this collab. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to share is I'm going to share this for two hashtags. I am part of the hashtag Crafty Dares, where it's a very small group hosted by Tina at Tell Him Thank You. Hi Tina. And we have 3 dares which are given by folks in the group, and this week we were to make a stacked hanging tag with paper bag and vintage theme. So I did an August creation, or autumn creation as well, so I thought I would share it as well. So my hanging tag, I used these nesting tag dies, which of course you can cut these out by hand, but they were already staggered in the shape and it was very easy to use. So I used these two papers, these two pads I should say, the Frank Garcia paper pad Amber Moon. I've had this for a long time and I love using it. Authentique is no longer in business and I have this little Splendor pad. So this sunflower page came from there, and then this bird was kind of on this collage sheet, so I just angled my tag shape over where I wanted to cut out the little bird, and this kind of distressed purple background also from the Amber Moon paper pad. So I really like how this came out. I did use a bulb pin with a little Tim Holtz Hope charm. I did use the little bit of like a rustic twine, and then some gold eyelash trim. And then that's my first tag. And then the second one, you can see where that bird is. And then I used the paper bag with some distressed ink. And then I also inked up the edges with some vintage photo, and then just kind of distressed the edges as well with the edge of my scissors. And then the next is this beautiful sunflower, and again, just with some of the paper bag. And I did punch the holes, and I used the paper bag up here around the holes as well. I always forget what you call that thing, you know. But that was my little tag for the Crafty Dares, and again, works perfectly with our autumn theme. All right, and then next, I'm going to show you a few of the papers I used. This older Hobby Lobby haberdashery. This is an older Michaels pad, Thankful Hearts. This one here, I adore this Autumn Breeze, older Michaels. I love things that look like these mixed medias. I used one of these sheets here from the Sweater Weather, Prima Pumpkin and Spice, not Sweater Weather, Pumpkin and Spice. Just this background here. And then the star of our show is I'm using these Red Lead Paperworks cutouts. I shared them in a haul video, my last one I think, where I got these from Red Lead Paperworks, redleadpaperworks.com. And these are called Whimsical 27, 28, and 29. When I picked these up, they were on sale, but they're these wonderful collage sheets. And I cut out some of these wonderful autumn girls. And they do have, we're sharing autumn here, but some of them do have some jack-o'-lanterns. And these are just these very sweet little paper doll images. They came in different sizes. So I was sitting here the night before last and just trimming some out to use. I think one is just cuter than the next. I was limited on my time. I would like to do obviously some more. If I get there, I will show you. And then, oh, I cut this one out. I wanted to show you. This one's not a project, but paper is what I just love to create with. And I like things that look like mixed media. It's already done for me. And these here, I didn't want to share the jack-o'-lantern, so I just put a pumpkin sticker on top. But this is from one of those pads that I just showed you. And I want to create something with this, but I don't want to cut down this tree. It's almost pretty enough to frame on its own. And I just love the way those colors were going, because I kind of keep wanting to kind of do purple themes in my autumn crafting. And then this is another one of those sheets, and there would be good for a background, you know, to cover the back. Also too, something like this, I thought just kind of popped with some of these images. So those were some of my ideas for crafting, but I'm not sure how I'm going to treat that one with the tree, but I am loving how that came together. All right, let me show you. Here's a couple of tags that I created to begin with. This is that background paper, and it's already distressed looking, and then I just added a little vintage photo to it. And then here's these other ones. I don't know what paper pad this come from, but kind of the yellow and orange stripe. Again, I just added a little vintage photo. I've got some ribbon, some twine, and a little eyelash trim, a couple of enamel dots. They got a little shine to them. I had some flat ones, but I thought, oh, those were so pretty. Eyelash trim is sticking. They do have just a little bit of shine to them. And I still have, these are really old Heidi Swap. I used to get them at Tuesday morning, these gold, the hole punch. You guys know what these are. They're not coming to my mind, but I use those a lot. I like to finish off the little eyelet holes up there. So anyways, those are my tags I just did. These are a little bit larger than a 2x4 size, the manila tags. So that was my first creation. And then something else, I have these occasions, small talk. I wish Tim Holtz would bring these back. They're the small talk occasions. I have used a lot of these. This is, I've still got more to go, but I always kind of gravitate towards the black ones. But I love these. They're for the holidays and a few other things, but they're just kind of through the year related and focusing on the holidays, but occasions. I love these. They need to bring them back. And then I made a little, so I did these two tags, and then I made this little kind of journaling card. I used this paper here, which was from one of those pads. And when I was kind of creating, I love these gold dots down here, and I like this word thankful. So when I was just putting this together, I realized when I kind of had this together that I could just cut that out, because sometimes when you have these cut apart, you don't always know what to do with them. And so yeah, it kind of became part of my tag, and then I covered the back of it in this beautiful leaf trim. And then kind of when I was sitting here playing around, I had this scrap left from here, and then I was looking at this, and I think that would make a beautiful card. So I might have to create something with that. If I do, I'll come back and share. And then last but not least is I made a 6x6 card. I need to make another one of these. I love making a 6x6 card. I think it was Mara Me Small Art. If you're familiar with her, she used to just make these larger cards, and she would sit there with her hot glue gun and take her embellishments and her paper kits and make them so beautiful and chunky in these large card sizes. So I went with a 6x6 because this image was larger, and I used I got the purple background here. I think that was from that haberdashery pad with the craft and the purple printed on top. This was a Tim Holtz acetate piece from one of his current ephemera packs. I used this chunky lace from Hobby Lobby, decorative trim in ivory. And my little girls there, I used a few little pearl buttons. And then I used a lacy doily punch for the inside. Still need to add a sentiment there. I've distressed all of the edges. And then I've got a little angel punch here, or a stamp, where I signed it. And that is all there is to it. I might have to create its own envelope or just stick it in a gift bag when I give it away. But so pretty. This is my favorite project. I think I need to make another one of these. So this is my share for the week. Definitely check out Sybil B. I know there are other creators that are playing along, so if you want to search that hashtag, please do. And at some point I will go ahead and take pictures and post them over on my Instagram for a closer look as well. All right guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.